Lake Arthur is located in southern Louisiana, and it's a part of Jeff Davis Parish. In 2016, the estimated population was about 2,800. It's located on the north shore of the lake, and it's a tidal section of the Mermentau River. The Comanche Indians were the first in the area due to the abundant wildlife and the lake in the area. Not too long after this, the Europeans settled on the south side of the lake, in which they called Lakeside, and was also known today as Shell Beach. In the late 1700s, Acadian families came here and settled, and they named the lake Le Petit Lac Mental. The reasoning behind this is because the Attapacca Indians had a chief, and their chief was named Mental.
An interesting point about the Attapacca Indians is that they were cannibalistic and would eat their defeated enemies.
The town got the name Lake Arthur from an early Acadian settler, and his name was Arthur LeBlanc. Early on, timber was the main form of business due to the many trees in the area.
In 1889, construction of the Live Oak Hotel was completed. It was one of the most impressive buildings of its time. One of its guests was Franklin D. Roosevelt, who would come to Lake Arthur to hunt before he was stricken with polio. In the 20th century, there was financial growth due to the oil and seafood industries.
Not everything was good in the 20th century. As you can see behind me, this is the remnants of what was once what they called the Black School. As you see, there was a 3-story school built in the 20th century, but that was for the white kids only. And behind me was a school for the black kids. Not only that, but at the park, that was also a white-only area at the time.
And talking about things like segregation reminds me of a story in which a slaver captain was on his way to Lake Arthur with a ship of 200 slaves to sell them.
He stopped off in Grand Chenier, and he was warned not to come here because he'd be arrested. So him panicking, he stopped off at a place called Skull Island and dropped off these slaves and took off into the water. Now the problem with that is there was no way for them to survive on the island because there was no food, there was no way for them to get back to the mainland, so they all perished. Even today, whenever you go there, you can still find their bones from that day. I find it very interesting, and I think that one day that we'll try to do a video on that and maybe even possibly go there. Today by the lakefront, you can find million-dollar homes lined up across, and also you can find the Lake Arthur Park. It has some really good scenery. And as you can see behind me, you can find the Regatta, which is the spiritual successor to the Wave Cafe in the 20th century. You can still find that big crawfish at Knott's Corner. The same crawfish was in the 1992 movie Passion Fish.